Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at SUI. I'm pretty excited about this here. Not just because we're heavy in profit on two long positions for SUI, but mostly because I'm going to have to zoom out to see the entire chart now. That's the best kind of chart you can look for. It's when the price just takes off, doesn't look back, and you got some good skin in the game. Quick congrats to our community members here for some nice profits from SUI. 68% in 7 days, 53% in 17 hours. And then, of course, got a Bitcoin long 50% in, 60% in 5 days. We held strong, didn't get shaken out with that retest, that support at 94.7. So SUI is looking fantastic. Cup and handle play out perfectly. Granted, it shot up a lot faster than usual because Bitcoin broke its all-time high. This is also relevant in the sense that it's a cup and handle pattern, folks, and they play out pretty well. But there's also confirming factors present too, that everything was bullish. We had a lot of support below us. So don't just think for a second that I took a long position on SUI because we had a pattern forming. Patterns are only a small part of it. There's validation to know you're on the right side of the tracks. But if you can verify on the charts too that you are, it reinforces that potential. Okay. So just kind of throwing it out there. Trust the charts, and obviously if you set it and forget it, that's important too. And what I mean by that too is a lot of folks, they'll miss out on profit because they take a long, they walk away, they don't set a profit target. If you don't do that, folks, you're not going to get any reward because, sometimes you get lucky, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, the price will move up and right back down. You'll miss out on profit. Again, it really depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're a spot bag trader, forget all of this. Okay. The good news is SUI is on the rise. It's going to probably continue, but either way you look at it here, most of my analysis is based on swing trading and or possibly getting in and out of the market at certain times, not necessarily holding on forever. So just heads up on that. Okay, SUI left-hand side here, we can see last 7 days of liquidation. That heavy concentration at 4 to 410 is swept. If you take a look at my previous playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, obviously I mentioned you shouldn't miss this opportunity. Hindsight's 2020, of course, but the whole point of me showing you this is because liquidation, look at that, 390 to 420, pretty heavy chunk of change there. Okay, and that was absolutely swept there. That's the 1 month. So if we look on the right-hand side, we can see that chunk right there got hit really hard. So sorry to anybody shorting SUI, but folks, I've tried and tried. I've only tried 4 times and I've only been successful twice shorting SUI. And to me, a 50% win rate isn't worthwhile personally. I average about 80% normally. So shorting SUI, I've come to realize, is not a good idea. Okay. So just friendly advice, never short. Obviously, if you shorted at 445, congratulations on your post online showing everybody how risky you are as a trader. That doesn't mean much at the end of the day, folks. Okay. Again, it's not what you do that defines you. It's why you do what you do. Okay. And if you're doing this for yourself and not for other people, then you're probably going to be doing a lot better, right? Just something to kind of think about. Anyways, most liquidation levels have been swept. We got some liquidation at about 445 to 460. A little bit left, not a ton though. So I wouldn't expect the price just to rip back through that level because of liquidation. If it does, it just means that there's nobody selling right now, which makes sense. Our liquidation delta is high towards that of longs. So this is generally the side of the tracks you want to be on. You shouldn't really, it's not really advisable to consider shorting SUI. Granted, we could see a retest of the $4 range or upper threes because just like Bitcoin and other coins, when they break their all-time high, it's common for them to retest those levels first before they take off. It's rare for an all-time high not to be retested. So I'm expecting 100,000 to 97K for Bitcoin as a possibility. Is it a guarantee? No. We open a long position with Solana to give you perspective. Like you don't have to necessarily wait for Bitcoin to pull back. But the truth is, you might find more benefit if that were the case. However, SUI is not really paired with Bitcoin. It doesn't matter too much, but it certainly ramped up with Bitcoin when it took off. So there's that as well. Anyways, the bottom line is that SUI is it's paired really well with Bitcoin. It tends to go up when Bitcoin goes up, and it doesn't want to pull back when Bitcoin pulls back. And oftentimes when Bitcoin does pull back, SUI goes further. So again, it's almost like a win-win. You really can't lose when you're taking a long position with this coin, as long as you're not being like stupid and ridiculous with your leverage, right? Those are the kinds of situations that don't work out. Anyways, open interest here, 380. We talked about that yesterday being a heavy support. All the more reason why I felt confident taking that long position. We can recognize locally here, there are some late longs at 390, 405, and 415. So roughly some easy round numbers to remember there. Those aren't super relevant right now because there's not like a lot of support in this range because we're barely into it. So you got to recognize that jumping into a trade right now, it might be a little bit more risky than it would be if you were just to consider waiting for a support range or level to be confirmed or essentially established, right? For right now, though, we're kind of shooting in the dark, for lack of better terms. If anyone says or proposes they know what's going to happen next, they're probably wrong, including myself. I'm not saying that what I'm going to tell you right now isn't going to be accurate, but it's just going to be hypotheticals because when you're in all-time high / discovery mode, crazy things happen, and for the most part, you never truly can anticipate how high or low it's going to go. We can use fib extensions here. I mean, for example, we got our local high at 394. We can disseminate that. Hypothetically, 453 would be the highest point in which the price will go on this run, because 1.618, 2.618, those are common fib retracement levels, all right? So again, it's just kind of a commonality, not a distinct probability, okay? So please recognize that. What is relevant in this video, though, folks, is best practice and making sure you understand what you're supposed to do in situations like this. That's why I teach. That's why I love helping people become better traders, because they're getting destroyed less frequent as just somebody that's regularly using best practice. That's it. Okay. So I hope you can see that. Anyways, daily time frame, we can recognize we're over 70 in the RSI. You do not short into that. You do not sell. You wait for the RSI to taper back off first. And what I mean by that is if you look at this hindsight, like it's easy to see, of course, but if you zoom out, you kind of go back here. The last time we had this monumental run, RSI bounce over 70. So RSI crossed 70 right here. So a lot of folks, they're traditionally taught to sell when you hit 70 in the RSI because it's resistance. In monumental runs like this, when coins blast straight through it, you don't sell, you wait. Now RSI came back down right here at this point here on November 20th, right there. So hypothetically, you'd sold here, you would have been out of the game way too early. Hindsight's 2020, of course, but if you look here, RSI is back under 70 at this level. That's a good cause for securing profits. Right now, we're over 70, what do you know, right about here. So we're waiting for the RSI to come back down, and then we secure profits. Okay, that's generally the rule of thumb. So it just implies that you're going to probably find more profit if you wait for the RSI to taper back off versus initially hitting that level. Okay. Again, just like a pro tip, something that I use frequently. It's more relevant in the 4-hour time frame. We'll see if that's similar. But at this point of the daily time frame, just to summarize, MACD is converging. There's every reason why you do not short this coin, and you probably want to shift gears to considering a long if you have been shorting. I'm willing to guess that you've been stopped out a few times if you're trying to short this coin now. And that's just generally how it works, folks. There's no other way around it. Okay. Anyways. Daily time frame looks fantastic. 4-hour, equally the same. All SMAs are below the price. We're still up over 70 in the RSI. And again, if you're like kind of a midterm holder like myself, I use the 4-hour RSI more specifically than the daily. And what I mean by that is if the RSI comes back down under 70 here soon, that would be a case in point where I'd probably consider closing my long position in profit. For right now, you want to let it ride, let it continue, because it could go higher. All right. So again, that's generally the consensus there. We do have a second stochastic swing to the downside that can slow things down, and the reason why is because it's a greedy push, right? We got this first initial stochastic swing and the second stochastic swing. The second one, in most cases, carries more weight than the first because you're usually overreaching, or you're into an overextension. In this case, all-time high. It's relevant. So pullback would make sense, at least within reason. I'm not proposing we're going to see the low to mid $3 range, but I can tell you upper 3s to low 4s is a probability, not necessarily a distinct likelihood. Okay. Again, this heavy liquidation range has been swept. We can look at the 12-hour, in fact, to see if there's any local areas of consideration for longs to get swept. If we do zoom in here, we can see there's pretty large pockets, right? 385. 401 and 415. So I think it would be naive to not anticipate the price to pull back, but on the same accord, we got to give it a chance to go up too, right? So that's just kind of how the RSIs play into that, and it's very helpful to understand. Hourly time frame, let's quickly recognize the Ichimoku cloud and just confirm that we're above everything here. There's zero, I want to reiterate that, zero reasons to short this coin. And if you're going to comment in the comments below and talk about how you shorted from 440 to $4, I wouldn't mind it. I actually invite it, but I would say it's not really a big brag because you're taking a high-risk trade in the wrong direction. It just makes no sense at all. So again, if you're going to do that, it's nothing that not to say you can't, just use low leverage, use good risk tolerance. Make sure that you watch it closely and you move your stop loss into profit as it continues higher or lower, depending on the direction you're heading, right? That's the key takeaway here. It's not about how great you are and how many, like, people don't care online how great you are as a trader. What they care about is growing their own portfolios, or at least that's what they should care about. And if you can disseminate anything from this, it's, again, best practice in situations like this, and there's zero reasons to consider a short. So what I'll do is I'll post a playout chart in a Twitter, Telegram, and Discord as per usual. I will, of course, send out a signal if necessary. I'm going to be waiting, honestly, to take another signal with this. We've already got 2 long positions open that are both in heavy profit, so it doesn't make a ton of sense to stack a third there. But for the most part, a lot of altcoins are doing well. There's a great chance that other alts are going to be looking pretty primed here. So I'm going to try to cover as much as I can here today. I want to say thanks again so much for the awesome feedback from my SUI community. 99.9% of you are awesome. Speaking of awesome, no KYC VPN required exchange, folks. Link down below. Absolutely check them out. No KYC, again, VPN required for this exchange in the US, Canada. A lot of my members are trading there. $12,000 deposit bonus this month. I'm confident we're going to hit our prize pool because we had like 800 million volume last month. We're already halfway there, so it's a pretty crazy, easy money there. Anyways, check it out. You have any questions, reach out. CryptoCash.tech if you want to become a better trader. I look forward to work with you, and I do hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.